Okay, boys and girls, we're going to continue on practicing multiplication with fractions and whole numbers. So our next problem, get your paper and pencil ready, is 4 times the fraction 3/8. Okay, so when you see a whole number times a fraction, the first step you want to take, as we learned in the previous video, is to make that whole number into a fraction. And we know that 4 is the same as 4 over 1. So whenever you have a number over 1, that equals a whole number. So 4 over 1 equals 4. Now it's a fraction. We can now repeat and write the rest of our fraction, 3/8. And in order to calculate and figure this out, we're going to multiply first our numerators. So I'm going to circle it again so you can see. Numerators are our top numbers. So go ahead and multiply those on your own. Good job. 4 times 3 is 12. Excellent. And then we're going to multiply our denominators, the numbers in the bottom. 1 times 8, you got it. 8. Awesome. So remember, we call this an improper fraction because the number in the top, the numerator, is bigger than the number in the bottom, the denominator. So our fraction is equal to 12/8. 12/8. All right, excellent. Now, is slide 2, we're going to take that improper fraction and we're going to convert it back into a mixed number. So we practiced this in the previous video, and you also practiced this with Mrs. Frakes. So we have 12/8, and we are going to now practice converting it into a mixed number. So if you remember, you take the number 12, and you divide it by 8. There you go. All right, so 12 divided by 8. Now, think of your 8's facts. If we have 8 times 1, we know that equals 8. So that's pretty close to 12. What if we did 8 times 2? That would be 16. So then we would be going over 12, and that wouldn't work. So the closest we're going to get really is 1 times 8 is 8. So let's multiply those two numbers together. We're going to write down our product here. 1 times 8 is 12. Subtract to get the difference. 12 minus 8 is 4. This number on the outside here is our answer, so we're going to write it up top. There we go. Now, I'll use a different color so we can just circle this. This number in the top, called our quotient, if we're going to turn it into a mixed fraction, that's going to be the number 1. 1 whole. Then we have this number here in the bottom, the remainder. That's going to be our next number, 1 and 4. And the divisor would be the denominator. So the mixed number is 1. I kind of like do this, little arrows to remind myself. 1 and 4/8. By the way, 1 and 4/8 is also equivalent to 1 and 1/2. So when you get into the older grades, some of your teachers will ask you to reduce that fraction or mixed number. But they are the same. They're equivalent. So either one is acceptable. So 1 and 4/8 is equivalent to 1 and 1/2. That's our final answer, or 12/8. Good job, 4th graders.